Have you ever felt like the universe was trying to tell you something? Have you ever noticed patterns, coincidences, moments that felt too precise to be random? What if I told you these weren't just accidents, but messages hidden within reality itself? Welcome to Psych Secrets, where we unlock the mysteries of the mind, decode the patterns of human behavior, and explore the hidden forces shaping our lives. Psychology isn't just a science, it's the key to understanding yourself, your decisions, and the world around you. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating concepts in psychology, synchronicity. Are these coincidences just tricks of the mind, or are they signs guiding you towards something greater? Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to learn might just change the way you see reality forever. What are synchronicities? The science and psychology behind them. Synchronicities, those eerie, meaningful coincidences that seem far too precise to be mere chance, have intrigued philosophers, mystics, and psychologists for centuries. Carl Jung, one of the most influential minds in psychology, coined the term synchronicity to describe these causal connecting principles. His idea suggested that events, although not directly linked by cause and effect, could still be deeply interconnected in ways that defy traditional logic. These events often appear when we are in heightened emotional states, making major life decisions, or contemplating deep questions. They are moments when the external world mirrors something within us, revealing patterns that seem too precise to ignore. But what causes these strange occurrences? Is there a scientific basis for them, or are they purely psychological? The science behind synchronicity, how the brain and universe may be connected. While skeptics dismiss synchronicities as mere coincidences, modern neuroscience and quantum physics suggest that these experiences might be deeply rooted in the way our brains process information and the fundamental nature of reality itself. The reticular activating system, RAS, why you see what you focus on. The reticular activating system is a network of neurons in the brainstem that acts as a gatekeeper, filtering out unnecessary information and highlighting what's important to us. Ever notice that after buying a new car, you suddenly see the same model everywhere? That's the RAS in action. Your brain has prioritized that specific car because it has recently become relevant to you. Similarly, when you focus on a particular thought, whether it's a goal, a fear, or a person, your RAS begins scanning the environment for related stimuli. This could explain why, after thinking intensely about someone, they suddenly call or text you. Example: imagine you're considering a career change but are uncertain about the decision. Suddenly, you keep stumbling across articles, conversations, and people discussing the exact type of work you're contemplating. Is it just coincidence, or has your RAS tuned in to patterns that were always there but previously ignored? Quantum entanglement and the observer effect. Does awareness shape reality? In the world of quantum physics, some experiments suggest that reality itself might be far more interconnected than we realize. Quantum entanglement. When two subatomic particles become entangled, they continue to influence each other instantaneously, even if separated by vast distances. Could this suggest that connections exist beyond space and time, and that human relationships might operate similarly on an unseen level? The double-slit experiment. This famous experiment revealed that particles behave differently when observed. When scientists measured which slit a photon passed through, it acted as a particle, but when unobserved, it behaved as a wave, existing in multiple possibilities at once. This suggests that conscious awareness itself plays a role in shaping reality. Could it be that our thoughts, emotions, and intentions subtly interact with the fabric of the universe, influencing what unfolds around us? If so, synchronicities might not just be coincidences. They could be evidence that our awareness shapes the world we experience. Synchronicities in folklore and ancient traditions. Throughout history, cultures worldwide have believed that life sends signs to those who are open to receiving them. Many traditions describe synchronicities as a universal language, a way for the unseen world to communicate with us. The ancient signs. How different cultures interpreted synchronicities. Ancient Greeks and the Oracle of Delphi. The Greeks believed that certain omens and signs were messages from the gods, guiding individuals toward their destinies. The Oracle of Delphi was often consulted to decipher these divine synchronicities. Native American symbolism. Many Native American tribes believe that encountering specific animals at significant moments in life is not random, but a message from the spirit world. Example, seeing an eagle is often interpreted as a sign of vision, leadership, or divine guidance. Chinese numerology and feng shui. The Chinese tradition emphasizes the power of numbers and patterns. Certain number sequences, like 8, prosperity, or 4, bad luck, are seen as indicators of fortune or warning. Are modern synchronicities just our version of these ancient messages? Maybe what we dismiss as coincidence today is simply a lost language of the universe, one that we're only beginning to relearn. Why do synchronicities happen? A psychological and philosophical perspective. Psychologists and philosophers offer multiple interpretations of why certain people experience synchronicities more frequently than others. Carl Jung's collective unconscious and archetypes. Jung proposed that synchronicities arise because we are all connected to a vast collective unconscious, a deep reservoir of shared human experiences and symbols. Certain archetypal events, such as falling in love, undergoing a personal transformation, or facing a major decision, may trigger synchronicities because they connect us to something larger than ourselves. Example, if you're going through a breakup and suddenly keep hearing the same song that reminds you of your ex, is it just chance? Or is your unconscious mind seeking deeper meaning, reinforcing what you need to process? The law of attraction and manifestation. Does attention create reality? Some believe that synchronicities are proof that the energy we put out influences what we receive. The law of attraction suggests that our dominant thoughts, emotions, and intentions act as magnets, pulling experiences into our lives. If you constantly think about a specific goal or person, you might be subconsciously aligning with opportunities that bring them closer. Scientific basis. A study on expectation bias found that people who expected good things to happen were more likely to notice opportunities, take action, ultimately experience more success. Example, a struggling musician deeply envisions themselves playing on a big stage. Within weeks, they randomly meet a producer at a cafe who offers them a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Did the universe intervene, or was their intense focus aligning them with the right people at the right time? The different types of synchronicities and what they mean. Synchronicities manifest in many forms, often appearing when we least expect them, yet feeling too precise to be dismissed as random. They act as whispers from the universe, nudges from the subconscious, or signs from a deeper intelligence. While skeptics write them off as coincidences, those who experience them frequently know they carry significance. Each type of synchronicity comes with its own meaning, patterns, and psychological implications. Below are some of the most common forms and what they might be telling you. Repeating numbers and patterns, 111, 222, 333, etc. One of the most reported synchronicities is the repeated appearance of specific number sequences on clocks, license plates, receipts, or even in random conversations. Many believe these number patterns are signals from the universe, angels, or a higher intelligence. Scientific insight, cognitive bias, and selective attention. Psychologists have long studied how our brains focus on patterns once we start noticing them. This is due to the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, also known as the frequency illusion, where something we just learned or focused on suddenly starts appearing everywhere. If you've been seeing 1111, 444, or 7 of 7, it's likely your brain has attuned itself to recognizing these numbers more frequently, rather than them actually occurring more often. However, does that mean they are meaningless? Not necessarily. This selective focus may indicate a shift in your awareness, personal transformation, or a subconscious alignment with something significant. Folklore example: the power of sacred numbers. Ancient cultures place deep meaning on numbers. In Chinese numerology, the number 8 symbolizes wealth and prosperity, while 4 is associated with bad luck. In Pythagorean mysticism, numbers held vibrational frequencies that could influence fate. Seeing repeating numbers could be a subconscious confirmation that you are on a significant path. Potential meanings of common numbers: 111, new beginnings, heightened intuition, manifestation in progress. Balance, relationships, alignment of partnerships. Creativity, self-expression, a call to pursue passions. 4, protection, stability, reassurance you're on the right track. 555, change, transformation, impending shifts in life. Symbolic encounters, seeing the same object, animal, or phrase repeatedly. Sometimes synchronicities don't come in numbers, they arrive in the form of recurring symbols. These could be objects, animals, or even words and phrases that keep showing up in unusual ways. Psychological insight: the subconscious is always speaking. Carl Jung believed that symbols from the unconscious appear in dreams, myths, and reality to guide us toward inner truths. If you keep seeing a specific symbol, it may represent an aspect of your psyche that is trying to communicate with you. Real-life example: animal synchronicities. Many cultures believe that animals act as messengers, carrying spiritual guidance. A woman contemplating whether to quit her job keeps seeing owls everywhere, on street art, in books, and even real-life encounters. In many traditions, owls symbolize wisdom and transitions, suggesting her subconscious has already made the decision. A man struggling with self-confidence keeps encountering lions in movies, logos, and conversations. Lions symbolize courage and self-empowerment, nudging him toward embracing his strength. If a symbol appears over and over again, ask yourself, what does this represent in my life right now? What emotions or thoughts come up when I see it? Is my subconscious guiding me toward an answer I already know? Perfect timing and meaningful coincidences. Sometimes, synchronicity comes in the form of perfectly timed events, things that happen at just the right moment to give you clarity, reassurance, or guidance. Psychological explanation: the confirmation bias in meaning making. Psychologists suggest that the human mind naturally seeks patterns and assigns meaning to events. However, Carl Jung believed that some of these coincidences are not just mental projections, but deeply connected events, guided by an unseen order in the universe. Real-life example: the relationship decision. A man is considering ending a long-term relationship. On the same day, he hears a podcast about how people stay in relationships out of fear, not love, opens a book to a random page that discusses the importance of moving on, overhears a stranger in a coffee shop telling a friend, "If it's not making you happy, why are you staying?" That's not just random, it's a synchronistic pattern. His subconscious is already making the decision, and reality is mirroring that awareness. The right person at the right time, encounters. Meeting exactly the right person at the right moment is another powerful synchronicity. These are people who unexpectedly open doors, offer guidance, or validate something you were already thinking about. Scientific basis: social probability and network theory. Studies in network theory suggest that we are all separated by just a few degrees, making it highly probable to run into someone with valuable insights at the right time. However, what makes these meetings feel like synchronicities is the deep personal meaning behind them. Real-life example: a career crossroad. A woman debating whether to switch careers randomly meets a mentor at a party who tells her about an open position in the exact field she was considering. Was it random? Perhaps. But was it significant? Absolutely. Sometimes synchronicities occur because we are finally ready to act, and the universe aligns accordingly. Dream synchronicities and premonitions. Have you ever dreamed about something only for it to happen in real life? Have you ever had a strong gut feeling that something was going to occur and then it did? These experiences may feel mystical, but psychology and neuroscience offer potential explanations. Neuroscience of dreams and intuition. The brain continues to process information while we sleep, making unconscious connections that the conscious mind misses. Intuition is often the brain recognizing subtle cues that we weren't consciously aware of, leading to gut feelings that prove correct. Premonitory dreams in history. Throughout history, many famous figures claim to have dreams that foreshadowed major events. Abraham Lincoln reportedly dreamed of his assassination just days before it happened. The sinking of the Titanic was predicted in eerie detail by multiple people who dreamed about drowning in a massive shipwreck before the event. Could dream synchronicities be a deep subconscious knowing, picking up on details we don't consciously register? The psychological and subconscious roots of synchronicity. Synchronicities are often dismissed as mere coincidences, but what if they are actually a reflection of how the mind processes reality? Many seemingly supernatural experiences can be traced back to psychological mechanisms, subconscious processing, and cognitive biases that shape our perception of the world. Your subconscious picks up on patterns before you do. Your brain is a powerful pattern recognition machine. It processes billions of bits of information every second, filtering out what's irrelevant and bringing forward what it considers important. This is why you don't notice every sound, object, or person in your surroundings. Your mind selects what it deems useful. But here's the catch. Your subconscious processes far more than your conscious mind. It picks up on details you aren't even aware of, then nudges your conscious mind toward them, sometimes in the form of synchronicities. Scientific insight, the subconscious processing of information. Studies in neuroscience show that the brain continuously scans the environment, looking for connections that might be relevant to you. If something is emotionally or mentally significant, whether a goal, fear, or desire, your brain flags related information and brings it into your awareness. Example, career synchronicity. If you've been thinking about changing careers, you might suddenly notice more job postings, overhear conversations about new opportunities, meet people working in the field you're interested in. Folklore example, the hunter's awareness. Ancient hunters developed an almost supernatural sense of their environment. They knew when prey was nearby, not because of magic, but because their subconscious minds were registering subtle cues. These cues included changes in wind direction, distant movements, or bird reactions. This heightened awareness allowed them to anticipate events before they consciously realized it. Just like these hunters, your subconscious is constantly observing patterns, guiding you toward information that aligns with your inner world. Confirmation bias and self-fulfilling prophecies, why you see more synchronicities once you believe in them. One of the most interesting psychological phenomena surrounding synchronicity is confirmation bias, the tendency to notice and interpret information in a way that confirms our existing beliefs. Study, luck is a mindset, not just chance. In a famous experiment on luck by psychologist Richard Wiseman, people were asked to count the number of pictures in a newspaper. Those who considered themselves lucky spotted a message printed in bold letters on the second page that read, "Stop counting. There are 43 pictures in this newspaper." Those who considered themselves unlucky missed it entirely, continuing to count every photo one by one. The conclusion? People who saw themselves as lucky were naturally more aware of their environment and opportunities, leading them to experience more lucky coincidences than those who didn't believe in luck. How this relates to synchronicity. Once you start believing in synchronicities, your brain begins actively searching for them, not in a delusional way, but as a result of increased awareness. You naturally become more observant, of opportunities, patterns, and meaningful connections that were always there but previously ignored. Real life example: the coincidental mentor. A man who had always believed that good mentors show up at the right time found himself meeting a highly successful business coach at a networking event right when he needed guidance. Was it a synchronicity, or did his belief that guidance would come make him more open, proactive, and aware, leading him to take action at the right moment? Key takeaway: your focus determines your experience. If you start looking for meaningful connections in life, you will find them. The law of attraction and vibrational alignment. Does your mind shape reality? One of the most debated topics in psychology and metaphysics is whether your thoughts and emotions actively shape reality. While this idea has been popularized by self-help books, there is some scientific and psychological basis for the idea that our internal state influences external events. Scientific theory: the placebo effect and the power of belief. The placebo effect proves that belief alone can cause physical healing. If someone takes a sugar pill but believes it's medicine, their brain produces the expected physiological effects. If belief can alter the body, why not reality itself? How this might work in daily life. If you constantly think, "I am always unlucky," you may ignore opportunities and focus only on negative experiences, thus creating more misfortune. If you shift to, "I attract the right opportunities at the right time," you begin to notice helpful connections, trust your instincts, and take proactive steps towards success, thus aligning yourself with better experiences. Folklore example: the fisherman's luck. In many fishing cultures, fishermen believe in signs that determine their luck, like a certain bird flying overhead or the direction of the wind. When they trust these signs, they become more patient, focused, and observant. This increases their likelihood of making a good catch. So was it the sign that brought the fish, or was it their belief and behavior that led to success? Key takeaway: your beliefs don't just influence what you notice, they influence how you act, which in turn shapes your reality. Is synchronicity just perception, or is it real? Psychologists suggest that synchronicities arise from our subconscious mind making connections, our cognitive biases shaping perception, and our beliefs influencing our reality. However, whether synchronicities are just a psychological phenomenon or evidence of a deeper, unseen intelligence at work is up for debate. What is undeniable is this: the more open and observant you are, the more meaningful patterns you will notice. The more you believe in guidance, the more you will align yourself with experiences that feel like destiny. The more intentional you are with your thoughts and focus, the more your reality seems to shift in response. So the next time you experience a synchronicity, ask yourself, is my subconscious bringing my attention to something important? Is this event shaping my focus and behavior in a way that makes new opportunities more likely? Am I in alignment with what I truly desire, or is this a wake-up call? Because whether synchronicities come from the universe or from your own mind, one thing is certain: they are not just random. They are an invitation to wake up, pay attention, and take action. How to recognize and work with synchronicities. Recognizing and understanding synchronicities is only half the battle. The real transformation happens when you learn how to actively work with these meaningful coincidences, to recognize them, interpret them, and take action. Many people experience synchronicities but dismiss them as coincidences, while others notice them but fail to act. To fully benefit from them, you must develop awareness, trust the process, and take aligned action. Keep a synchronicity journal. Track the patterns. One of the most effective ways to recognize synchronicities in your life is to document them. The mind is forgetful. What seems like a mind-blowing coincidence today might fade from memory by next week. Keeping a synchronicity journal allows you to track recurring patterns, symbols, numbers, and events. Over time, you will see clear themes emerge that might provide insight into your life's direction. How to keep a synchronicity journal. Write down every strange coincidence or pattern you notice. Include dates, locations, and emotional states at the time of occurrence. Over time, look for recurring numbers, symbols, or themes. Example, a man starts seeing the number 444 repeatedly on receipts, clocks, and phone numbers. Curious, he researches its meaning and finds that many cultures associate 444 with stability and major life transitions. He realizes he has been contemplating a big career move and takes it as a sign to move forward. Folklore example, the prophetic dream. Throughout history, prophetic dreams have been recorded in various cultures. Ancient Chinese sages, Egyptian priests, and indigenous shamans all kept detailed dream journals to interpret signs from the spiritual world. Just as they track symbols in dreams, tracking synchronicities can reveal patterns in waking life. Ask for signs. Test the process. If synchronicities are messages, why not intentionally ask for guidance? Many people find that when they request a sign, the universe responds. How to ask for signs. Set a challenge. If I'm meant to take this job, show me the number 333 within 24 hours. Be specific but open-minded. The sign may not appear in the way you expect. Watch for signs in unexpected places. A song lyric, a conversation, a random message on a billboard. Scientific insight, priming your mind. Psychologists have found that when we prime our brains to look for something, we are more likely to notice it. This is why people who buy a new car suddenly start seeing the same model everywhere. It's not appearing more frequently, they're just now tuned into it. Real life example. A woman debating whether to leave her corporate job asks for a sign. She tells herself, if I'm meant to take a new path, I'll see a white feather in an unusual place. Later that day, a coworker, who has never gifted her anything before, hands her a small pendant in the shape of a white feather. Was it just coincidence or a moment of synchronicity? Key takeaway: when you ask for signs and remain open, reality responds in ways you may never have expected. Meditate and tune in. Silence the noise. Synchronicities increase when your mind is quiet and receptive. The more distracted, anxious, or disconnected you are, the harder it becomes to notice them. Meditation, mindfulness, and time in nature can sharpen your perception and allow synchronicities to become more frequent. How to tune in to synchronicities. Meditation. Regular meditation increases awareness and helps you recognize subtle signs. Time in nature. Being in nature enhances intuition and deepens your connection to the universe. Reduce distractions. Social media, constant noise, and stress can block intuitive insights. Scientific insight. The default mode network, DMN. Neuroscientists have found that the brain's default mode network, DMN, is responsible for deep insights and pattern recognition. Meditation enhances DMN activity, which may explain why people experience more synchronicities after deep reflection. Folklore example, the monk's vision. Many spiritual traditions encourage silent retreats, fasting, and isolation to receive divine messages. Buddhist monks, Native American shamans, and Sufi mystics all believed that quieting the mind allows the universe to speak more clearly. Key takeaway: if you want more synchronicities, create space for them. Silence the mental noise, and the messages will become clearer. Trust and take action. Follow where the signs lead. Synchronicities are useless if you ignore them. The key to benefiting from them is taking action. Many people see synchronicities, get excited, but do nothing. They ask for a sign, receive it, and then hesitate. How to take action on synchronicities. If a door opens, walk through it. If a sign confirms your intuition, trust it. If a pattern keeps appearing, explore it. Real life example. A woman considering moving to a new city keeps randomly meeting people from that city, in coffee shops, social events, and even while traveling abroad. After meeting 5 different people from the same city in 1 week, she finally decides to move. Months later, She realizes that her biggest career opportunity was waiting for her there. Psychological insight, the brain's risk-reward system. Our brain is wired to avoid risk, but synchronicities often present opportunities outside our comfort zone. Those who trust these signs and take action break free from limiting patterns and experience greater growth. Who really controls your reality? Radical responsibility, the ultimate escape from passivity. Many people experience synchronicities but do nothing about them. They see the signs, recognize the patterns, but then hesitate, waiting for more proof, more certainty, more clarity. This hesitation keeps them trapped in passivity, unable to move forward. But here's the truth. Certainty never comes before action. If you're waiting for 100% confirmation before making a decision, you will never act. Successful people don't wait for perfect clarity. They move forward with what they know now and adapt along the way. The most powerful lesson you can learn is that clarity comes from action, not from overthinking. The Bezos Principle, the 70% rule. 70% rule. The Amazon founder doesn't believe in waiting for perfect certainty before making a decision. His rule is simple. If you wait for 100% certainty, you'll always be too late. Make decisions when you have at least 70% of the information and adjust as you go. This mindset explains why Amazon grew so rapidly. Instead of waiting until every detail was perfect, Bezos made bold moves, tested ideas, and course-corrected in real time. Key takeaway: you will never have all the answers. Move forward anyway. Real-life example: Steve Jobs and the power of intuition. Steve Jobs, the visionary behind Apple, didn't build his empire by waiting for perfect certainty. Instead, he relied on intuition and synchronicities to guide his decisions. Before launching the iPhone, there was no historical proof that people would want an all-in-one touchscreen device. Most experts dismissed the idea, but Jobs saw the patterns, the potential, and the timing, and he took action before the rest of the world caught up. Today, the iPhone is one of the most successful products in history. Key takeaway: synchronicities provide clues, but it's action that creates reality. Why most people stay stuck: the fear of being wrong. One of the biggest reasons people ignore synchronicities and avoid action is the fear of making the wrong decision. What if I take the wrong path? What if I fail? What if I regret my choice? But here's a critical shift in perspective. There are no wrong choices, only different lessons. Scientific insight, neuroplasticity, and decision-making. Psychologists have found that the brain is constantly rewiring itself based on experience. This means that every decision, good or bad, creates new neural pathways, helping you adapt, learn, and improve. Folklore example: the farmer's luck. An old Chinese folktale tells the story of a farmer whose horse ran away. His neighbors said, "What bad luck?" But the farmer simply replied, "Maybe." The next day, the horse returned with a dozen wild horses. His neighbors said, "What great luck?" Again, the farmer said, "Maybe." Later, the farmer's son tried to tame one of the wild horses, but fell and broke his leg. The neighbors cried, "What terrible luck!" The farmer once again said, "Maybe." Days later, the army came to recruit young men for war, but his injured son was spared. Moral of the story: you can't always judge a decision by its immediate outcome. What seems bad today may lead to something incredible tomorrow. How to stop hesitating and start creating your reality. If you want to take control of your reality, you must stop hesitating and start making decisions with confidence. Here's how. Embrace the 70% rule. If you have at least 70% of the information, take action. Trust that you can adjust as you go. Waiting for 100% certainty is just fear in disguise. Act on synchronicities. If you keep seeing the same number, word, or pattern, pay attention. If multiple signs point toward a decision, take it as confirmation. Don't wait for more proof. Act on what you already know. Redefine failure. Every decision moves you forward. There are no wrong choices, only experiences that help you grow. Think of failure as feedback, not finality. Real-life example: Oprah Winfrey. Oprah was fired from her first TV job and told she was unfit for television. Instead of seeing it as failure, she trusted the bigger picture, followed her instincts, and built a media empire. Final, you are the creator of your reality. Reality is not something that happens to you. It's something you actively create. Every time you hesitate, you give away your power. Every time you ignore a sign, you delay your growth. But every time you act, even with uncertainty, you move closer to your full potential. Certainty never comes before action. The most successful people don't wait for perfect clarity, they create it. So the real question is, are you ready to take control of your reality? Because the moment you decide to trust, take action, and move forward without fear, that's when everything changes.